Hey lambs, Kai here with your midweek mini. Yes, hurt tooth and all, but the show must go on. Before I explain to you why I'm recording, let me tell you what your midweek mini is going to be about. A man was stabbed after doing a ménage à trois. So I guess after it was done, someone was jealous, or I don't know. That's so weird. Before we begin, I want to remind you that this episode and all my episodes are sponsored by my lambs in Patreon, patreon.com/Love and Murder. If you want to be a sponsor of Love and Murder, go ahead and subscribe to our Patreon for bonuses and to become a sponsor, patreon.com/Love and Murder. Let me tell you real quick why I'm here. Plainly put, AI Jane was there. She was helping out, and I say she in quotes. However, I re-listened to the episodes. Whenever I put out an episode, most of the time I listen to it, I couldn't get through that AI voice. So I know if I didn't like it, y'all didn't like it. So I had to put on my big girl panties and come and record because I know y'all want your episodes. And AI Jane she's good for once in a while, but back to back to back, I don't think y'all could deal with it because I can't deal with it. So anyways, that's why I'm recording and I'm just taking breaks. Whenever my tooth starts hurting, I'm just going to take breaks. That's where the power of editing comes in. So it's just going to take me a little bit longer, but thank you for your patience and thank you for listening to AI Jane and thank the AI for stepping in. So let's get into this midweek mini. This actually happened in February of 2013. This ménage à trois was between an Ashley Hunter, who was 33 years old, Orlando DeWitt, who was 37, and a woman named Leticia. I'm going to read off the police report, but just a brief recap of what's going on. So Ashley ended up being charged with a felony aggravated assault because he allegedly stabbed Orlando in the arm during a ménage à trois. Basically what happened was Orlando and Ashley had met in prison. They were out of prison now, and they had been partying with a bunch of women. Then the two men and one woman went back to Ashley's house. This was around 2:30 a.m. And then, they started getting hot and heavy on the couch. And as they put it, they were, quote, soon under the covers, and they had their pants off. So one thing led to another, and suddenly all three of them are doing the do. And, quote, Hunter then asked to switch places with Orlando. Orlando told him no, and Hunter became upset. So they started arguing, like in the middle of having sex. They started arguing because they wouldn't switch places. One of them called the other a name, which infuriated the other, and Ashley yelled at Orlando to get out of his house. That's when Ashley then said he's going to, quote, F him up and kill him, speaking to Orlando, and then he reached into the couch and pulled out a 12-inch butcher knife. Who keeps a knife in their couch? I mean, everything about this is like, what the frick is going on? What am I watching here? But he pulled a 12-inch knife out of his couch, and Orlando and Leticia, who were both naked at this time, ran into the bathroom. I mean, if some crazy dude is pulling a knife out of their couch, I guess I would run too, whether I have clothes on or not. Orlando said he decided to run for the front door, which he did reach the front door, but, quote, as soon as he went to open the exterior door, he felt the knife cut in the back of his left arm, which made him move even faster, and he ran out of the house. In the process of running out of the house, he had grabbed the woman's phone, and that's what he used to call 911 when he was a safe distance away. He wasn't seriously hurt, but Ashley was charged with the stabbing, and he decided to go to jail instead of posting the $5,000 bail. So that's literally what happened. So let's read it in the words of the police report. So this was filed with the Fargo Police Department on February 11th, 2013. This was a witness report by a Mary Rose, and the last name has been redacted. Orlando DeWitt interview. On February 8th, 2013 at 05:52 hours, that's 5:52 a.m., Sergeant Matt Sanders contacted me at home and requested I responded to redacted regarding an aggravated assault. So when I said redacted, that means that it was whited out and you can't see what it's saying. It's more than likely a full name that they're trying to keep out. Sergeant Sanders informed me officers had responded to a call of a male who had been stabbed by Ashley Hunter. I was told the victim was taken to Sanford Hospital for treatment. While en route to Sanford, I was informed by Sergeant Crane the victim has been discharged, and Officer O'Brien was transporting the victim to Motel 6 at 1202 36 South Street. I met with the victim at Motel 6. The victim was identified as Orlando DeWitt. Orlando stated he is from Grand Forks and was staying with a friend in room 238. Orlando said he does not have a permanent address. On February 7, 2013, at around 1600 hours, Orlando was at the Fargo Public Library on 4th Street, North Orlando. He was checking his Facebook when he received a chat message from Ashley Hunter. Orlando said he met Hunter while they were both in prison. Orlando and Hunter made arrangements for Orlando to meet at Hunter's residence. Hunter met Orlando at Steve Package, where Orlando purchased a 6-pack of beer, and Orlando and Hunter then walked to Hunter's residence. At the residence, they drank a couple of beers and were talking about going out for the night. Hunter called a female friend of his, and around 22:30 hours, which is 10:30 p.m., 3 females arrived at Hunter's residence. Orlando said the female driver claimed to be the daughter of the older female, later learned to be Mary Redacted. Orlando said they were taken to the windbreak where Mary Redacted and the younger females, later learned to be Leticia Redacted, all drank and stayed till around 0200 hours, which is 2 a.m. on February 8, 2013. Mary Redacted daughter picked all of them up around 0200 hours and took them to McDonald's at 32 Avenue and I-29. While in the drive-thru, Hunter became upset about something and was having a disagreement with Mary. Hunter was refusing to eat his food. Orlando said they all went back to Hunter's residence and arrived sometime between 0230 and 0300 hours. Once at the apartment, Hunter invited them inside. Hunter, Orlando, Mary, and Leticia went in the apartment. Orlando and Leticia were sitting on the couch, and Mary went to the bedroom and laid down and went to sleep. Orlando knew Mary was asleep because he could hear her snoring. Orlando said Hunter was doing something with the television. Orlando said that he and Leticia were under a blanket on the couch at this time. Hunter then went to the bedroom. Orlando and Leticia began kissing on the couch. Orlando said he and Leticia were under the covers and they had their pants off. Orlando said he felt like someone was watching him, and when he looked at the bedroom, he could see Hunter watching. When Hunter saw this, he backed into the room. Orlando said him and Leticia began engaging in sexual intercourse, and Orlando said he caught Hunter watching a second time. Orlando said he stopped and waited for a short while before starting to have sexual intercourse with Leticia. Orlando said that while having intercourse, Hunter came out of the bedroom and began kissing on Leticia's breasts. I feel like I should have some bow chicka wow wow music going. Shortly after, Leticia began to perform oral sex on Hunter. Hunter then asked to switch places with Orlando. Orlando told him no and called Hunter a, quote, effing R-word. Orlando said this made Hunter mad, and Hunter began telling Orlando to get out of his residence. Orlando said Hunter got in his face. When asked what this meant, he said Hunter was face to face and so close you could feel Hunter's saliva on his face as Hunter yelled. Orlando said Hunter told him he was going to F him up and that he was going to, quote, kill him. Orlando said that Hunter then reached into the couch and pulled out a, quote, butcher knife. Orlando described the knife as 12 inches in length and a 1-inch wide blade and black handle. Orlando said at this time Leticia grabbed her clothing and ran to the bathroom, and he followed her in the nude. Orlando said Hunter began pounding on the door and continued to threaten to kill him and assault him, and that he had 2 minutes to get out of his residence. When Hunter settled down, Orlando opened the door and Hunter stepped from the kitchen still holding the knife. Orlando said he shut the door again, and this time Hunter forced the door open. Orlando remembers wood splintering. At this time, Hunter, Orlando, and Leticia were all in the small bathroom. Hunter was standing between Orlando and Leticia at this time. Orlando said Hunter was still threatening him. Orlando said he decided to run for the front door. Orlando said he was still nude and ran for the door. Orlando, oh my God, the amount of times the names are being called is grating on my nerves. I understand why they have to write it like this, because you don't want to confuse saying him, her, or whatever. But the grammar in this is getting to me. Okay. Orlando said he decided to run for the front door. Orlando said that he was still in the nude and ran for the door. Orlando said he made it to the front door, and as he went to open the exterior door, he felt a knife cut in the back of his left arm. Orlando said that as he ran, he grabbed Leticia's phone off the table in the kitchen. Orlando said that he then ran to the alley and called 911 from Leticia's phone, where he was eventually met by officers. Orlando told me he was missing some of his clothes and phone, which was left behind in Hunter's apartment. Orlando said he was running. He heard Hunter still yelling he was going to kill him and that he could get his clothing off the porch. I later learned officers did locate some of Orlando's clothing on the porch and gave those to him at the hospital. The outstanding clothing was a jacket, gray in color with gray leather sleeves and burgundy on the wrists, a pair of white socks with gray toes, cell phone with a wallpaper of two hands with tattoos holding guns, white watch, and white tank top. This concluded my interview with Orlando. Oh my God, that sounded like a whole bunch of bull. Like, it went from having fun to immediately turning into just, can people just not, I guess in any environment they can't get along. He just didn't get his way and it turned into, I'm about to stab you and kill you. And then what would you have gained by that? You're still not going to get what you wanted. Like, do you think the woman would have been like, well, I mean, you did get the upper hand, so let's go. Like, and I understand I'm not crazy, so this will never make sense to me. But can y'all imagine this crap? Just the craziness of this crap. So anyway, like I said, Ashley was charged with felony aggravated assault and decided to go to jail and not post bond. So, I mean, I guess if you meet each other in prison, you're going to do prison stuff. I mean, that's so horrible to say because some people go to jail for minor stuff or they're not even guilty. So I shouldn't even say that. I honestly, I don't even know what to say about this. This is just crazy. I want to hear what you have to say about how this whole thing, which is some people's fantasy in Ménage à Trois, took a sharp and sudden left turn out of Pleasuresville to I'm going to kill you'sville. If this isn't the epitome of love and murder, then I don't know what is. So I want to hear from you. I don't have a poll for this because I can't even fathom what I would ask. But I do want to hear from you. If you have any kind of story, obviously not exactly similar to this, but if you have any kind of story that started off on a good note and in a split second took a left turn, I want to hear from you. Leave me a comment below, or you could email it to me at noconductradio@gmail.com. I want to hear your crazy stories so I could actually read those out because this is the craziest thing I've ever heard. They were having a good night. Yeah, one of them was complaining about the food, but whatever, they got over it. They ended up in a whole menage a trois, and then in a split second, it turned into a menage, I'ma kill you. Just craziness. I can't think of anything in my life that has gone south so quickly. Except I think, like, children, you're with your siblings and you're playing and then somebody gets hit in the mouth or something and it's no longer playing. But that's literally it. As a grown person, I can't think of anything that went south so fast. But if you have a story of this, I would definitely like to hear from you. Leave me your story in the comments below, and I'm going to see you in the next episode. Thanks for being patient with me. Bye.